So you guys remember Sheriff David Clarke, the black dude, was on maybe CNN, MSNBC, a few times that, even Fox News, I think, had him, and he wasn't playing any games, and he laid it out. He was not a fan of mainstream media. He was a fan of the law, the Constitution. I mean, his answers were like, whoa, this is not what we were expecting from a sheriff, of whatever county I don't remember which county he was out of and which state actually now. But according to this website, and I've already looked it up a couple different spots, there may be something to this, but I've never done a video on this website, rickwells.com. rickwells.us. But I'm like, well, before I do a video on this, let me just poke around a little bit. And I've seemed to be finding this at other sources, from other sources too. Remains to be seen. But Sheriff David Clarke considered for Department of Homeland Security to help Trump, Kelly, clean up Obama mess. Boy, I hope this is spot on. I hope he gets the nod, because this is one of those things where I have to come out here again and say, you know what? Trump surrounding himself with these, neocons, these Israel First people and warmongers. I mean, you name it. I don't like it. Goldman Sachs all over the place with him. But then, he puts Robert F. Kennedy Jr. or whatever in charge of, was it the FDA? Make some good, got some good decisions. If this goes through, as I'm reading anyways, then this is another one where I give not only one thumbs up, two thumbs up. Or not only one thumb up, two thumbs up. So is it? This is the right, this is the right guy. Boy, would I be real happy with this one if this goes through. But anyways, this article goes on and says Sheriff David Clarke of Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, is reportedly under consideration for a position with the Department of Homeland Security, that of Assistant Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security Office of Partnership and Engagement. That office coordinates interaction and outreach to state, local, and tribal officials and law enforcement. Clarke has often said he'd serve if called upon, and met with President Trump in Trump Tower last November. He spoke at the Republican convention in Cleveland. With the pace of the confirmation process thus far under the obstructionist stunts of Senate Minority Leader Chuck, I don't want to give him a middle name, Chuck Schumer, being just beyond that of standing still, it's fortunate that no Senate confirmation is required for the position. One senior administration official cautioned it's not a done deal yet, and there are likely to be an effort by Democrats to derail, of course, by the Democrats, to derail the high-profile supporter of President Trump. Given the fact that Democrats have squandered what little credibility they had in the beginning of the Trump administration through their obstruct everything course of action, the possibility is strong that Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the rest of the immoral anti-American parasites would simply be met with instructions from the White House to just go pound sand. Or pound on each other's faces. You may end up making Nancy Pelosi's face a little, a much prettier, actually, not a little bit, much prettier if her face got pounded on. Then again, the old saying, you can't polish a turd. Yeah, anyways. They may attempt to attack Sheriff Clarke over the 2016 dehydration death of an inmate in his jail who had been denied water for 7 days. Clarke hasn't said a lot on the subject, but he did respond to the calls for Governor Walker to remove him, which were being advanced by a pro-illegal alien group, of course, a natural enemy for the outspoken lawman. Again, illegal aliens, this guy's not about that. He's about throwing them out. You don't belong here. You guys commit tons of crime. We have to pay the tab every single way, 6 ways from Sunday. Again, every single time. So anyways, Sheriff Clarke wrote that the group, Voces de la Frontera, is a pro-criminal illegal immigration movement. He noted, they couldn't beat at the ballot box, so they are resorting to asking the governor to undo an election that was the will of the people. This is what scummy people in organizations do, he was quoted as saying. And I agree. The people have voted for you in a pro-illegal immigrant group, and as he called them, pro-criminal illegal immigrant movement. So they're going to go, oh, governor, let's petition the governor to remove him, remove the sheriff from office. No, he was voted in because of his viewpoints, actually. That's what the people wanted, and that's why they freaking voted for him to be the sheriff. Well, I can't get my way. I'll just do what the liberal left does and stomp my feet and go to my safe space and cry and hug. We've got a little hug party, snowflake gathering, unicorn gathering, whatever. Bring it all. Sit Indian style, crisscross applesauce and tell each other about why we're so upset. Meanwhile, people are getting mugged, killed, car thefts, murder someone, they get back, thrown across the border, they come back, they do something else. I mean, what are we doing? In March, in response to a lawsuit filed by the inmate's family against Sheriff Clarke, the public servant sent a statement to the Associated Press which read in part, I have nearly 1,000 inmates. I don't know all their names, but is this the guy who was in custody for shooting up the Potawatomi casino, causing one man to be hit by gunfire while in possession of a firearm by a career convicted felon? He asked. And he added, the media never reports that in stories about him, if that is him, then at least I know who you're talking about. Right, so in other words, this guy was a bad dude. Kind of like sometimes people get put into prison for, raping a child, and then the inmates hear about it, and the guy, is found the next day, hung, or he got in a fight and got killed. One of those kind of numbers. However, he's in charge, so he's at fault. He did it, he's at fault. Well, what about the prison guards and the prison system he was in? Can you actually point the finger at the sheriff because the guy didn't drink? Didn't have water? Anyways, additionally, the left will likely attack for an NRA trip that Sheriff Clarke took to Russia, their perfect catch-all nemesis for any political situation in which he and others in the group met with Dmitry Rogozin, one of Vladimir Putin's deputies. The French elections, they're taking place. They just had round one about a week ago, last Sunday. Le Pen and the other guy, Macron, which I told you he's a globalist. Don't worry about him. Just focus on Le Pen. Don't focus on the polls. It means nothing. Just watch her. She should take this with no problem. That's exactly what's happening right now. Polls are coming out. Poll came out and Macron, loyalist, yada, yada. Well, he goes and gives a speech somewhere where his loyalists are. This happened the other day. And they booed him and became like a pro-Le Pen rally all of a sudden, right in front of his face. It's the most amazing thing you ever saw. And then all of a sudden, a new poll came out, and Le Pen supporters have grown all of a sudden. She's gaining supporters left and right all of a sudden. What do you mean all of a sudden? They weren't there last Sunday? They didn't show up? But you know what they said? The reason why this is happening? Russian hackers are meddling. Russian hackers are meddling in the French elections, boosting Miss Le Pen. I'm not kidding you. That's now mainstream news. Anyways, we're not interested in the contrived outrage, Mr. President. We're concerned about the illegal aliens who are killing Americans, clogging up our roads and social welfare systems, and taking over our country. That's what Clarke can help fix. That's what's important. And by the way, I read a story. Now, this is the UK, but, social welfare for illegal immigrants, and they don't have Mexican immigrants mostly. They've got Middle Eastern, so not Mexico, but Middle Eastern, Syria and Northern Africa coming in. And this guy and his wife, He was 39. His wife was, I don't know what her age was. They had $250,000 or euros in their bank account. And somehow were also able to get $50,000 a year in welfare. And then it finally got to the government somehow only because someone blew the whistle on them. So they probably bragged to somebody how they're sucking off, old Whitey in the UK, because that's what they're taught over there. Hate the white Christian people, and then we're taught hate the brown Islamic people, so that's how that mindset goes. So they're probably bragging to someone how old Christian Whitey, we're taking it 50K a year, and we got $250K in the bank. That's the only reason they found out. But they wouldn't charge them. He had to do 10 months. His wife got set for 6 or 8 months. He had already done 5 months while the wife was getting sentenced, but then they have 3 or 4 something kids. It wouldn't be right to take the kids and put them in the system, so he's going to get out in 5 months now so he can take care of the kids while she does her 5 or 6 months, And they have to pay back the $50K per year, whatever it was that they got. They got to pay it back now. At least they got to pay it back. I can say that much. But that's one story. How many others are like that? And how many do you think are in America just like that? Whether it's Syrian refugee or Middle Eastern refugee or Mexican illegal, etc. Doesn't matter. Just illegal alien, period. That's just one name for all of them because it doesn't matter where they come from. It's meaningless. So how many is happening here in America? You would see a massive refund into your taxpayer so-called checking account, if you follow me, if we clean that mess up. You'd be like, oh my God, we didn't know it was that bad. Oh yeah, I've been telling you this for years. It is that bad. Oh my gosh, the deficit's looking a lot better now that we dealt with this, right? I mean, there's a whole bunch of positives for dealing with it. They don't want to deal with it. That's a vote. I need to vote. Democrats and Republicans, I need to vote. I need to vote. I don't want to go after that. I don't want to look into that because I want those people to vote for me. Unbelievable. We're not interested in their contrived outrage, Mr. President. We're concerned about illegal aliens who are killing Americans, clogging up our roads and social welfare systems, and taking over our country. That's what Clarke can help fix, and that's what's important. Just based upon those 2 incidents alone, Clarke seemed like the perfect man for the job. But he offers much more. He's also well aware that you'll never please the left, and they can't be reasoned with because they don't want resolution. They seed turmoil as their medium of change. Hopefully, Mr. President Trump has arrived at the same conclusion during his first 100 days of trying unsuccessfully to deal with them, and will simply go with the best person for the job. Sheriff Clarke would be a great choice no matter where they put him, but a spot as an intermediary on behalf of Department of Homeland Security plays direct to his strengths. He's long been a vocal opponent of the lawlessness of the Obama regime, particularly as it relates to the border and their subversion against the law enforcement of illegal immigration laws. There's no better choice to help clean up the mess Obama and his comrades left behind, which, by the way, Obama is currently, he's probably done now, but just was over there, giving a speech. Wall Street's paying him $400,000 for his speech. Again, who does Obama work for? Follow the money. It's that simple. Follow the money. Each and every time you'll be able to figure this out so easily. So yeah, on to the next one. Take care.